Hi, welcome back to another episode on this channel. So we are talking about studies today. As students, it becomes so daunting for us at the end of the semester or term when you have to cram everything just to go and write your end of semester exams. Then the most simple thing that you can do is to learn during the course of the semester. Even though some of us learn during the course of the semester, at the end of it all, we still find it very difficult to remember some things that we learned, and we think some people are more brilliant than us. Research shows that no brain is created different from the other. We all are created with the same brain and with the same smartness. And it also shows that when something is taught, we get 55% of whatever is taught. We understand 55% of whatever is taught. And after 7 days, it reduces to 35%. Then after 14 days, it reduces to 26. And after 21 days, it reduces to 7%. So the only way to keep it in your memory and to keep it in your long-term memory is to keep revising it. That's the only way you can have that thing at the back of your mind and always have it. So I'm just here to share with you some simple tips that you can put in place. Some of us don't know ourselves. If you are like me, who don't know yourself when it comes to learning, but some of us do know ourselves, and we know the kind of environment that we learn best in, and we know how best it is, like how best the environment suits us when we are learning. If you are that kind of person, well, you are good to go. But if you are like me, who doesn't know when to learn or when not to learn, and the kind of environment you need to learn and be able to really understand what you are learning, well, stick and stay to the very end of the video so that you can get whatever the benefit this video will have for you. So I have my notes here. I'll just be checking and giving you the details. Okay, so the first tip and most important one is to have a positive mindset when studying. Some of us study because other people are studying and want to pass more than them, and some of us also study because we just want to pass our exams and go. Well, you should study because you want to know, not because you want to pass your exams and go. But then you are interested in whatever you are studying so that it will stick. If it's interesting for you, even if the course is not interesting, and you make it interesting because you really want to know whatever is in that course, it will stick and stay with you. And the second thing that you have to do when studying is to create an outline of your course. At the very beginning of your semester or your academic year, you have to make sure you know the courses you are doing so that you put them into in order, so that you put the courses you are doing for the academic year or the semester. You write them down and you write the topics you'll be doing under it and the subtopics you'll be doing under it, so that you'll be familiar with all of it. And if the need be for any research that you have to do, you do it in time before maybe the lecturer or the teacher even comes in. Okay, and the third thing that you have to do is to draw a timetable. This one too is very important. Why? Because there are courses in the semester or the academic year that you don't like. It's not all the courses that you will like. There are some that you wouldn't like and some will be difficult. So you have to draw your timetable in order to suit all these courses. If you draw a timetable, all those courses will be put in the timetable, so you'll be able to learn all the courses. If you don't have a timetable and you are learning, you always learn those that you understand, those that interest you the most, leaving the ones that are not interesting or leaving the ones that are difficult for you. But if you have a timetable, everything will be captured and then you learn everything at the time that you've allocated for it. And then you choose a convenient location for your study. Some of us understand more when there is a little distraction in the environment. Others too, when there's any small thing happening, they can't concentrate. So if you are that kind of person, and maybe your friend is a kind of person who studies, who understands more when there is distraction in the environment, and then you are following her or him to the place that he or she is learning, it's not the right thing. The person will understand whatever he or she is learning, but you on the other hand, you be at the losing end because you don't understand anything. All the time you'll be going to prep or you'll be going to study, but then you don't get anything back home. So if you are that kind of person, know where you can understand more, or where you can really study and get whatever you are learning, so that you choose a perfect environment for your studies. You are studying because you want to get something from it. So if you find an environment, maybe your friends are there and they are always talking about stuffs, but you want to study and you go there, you see that you will never get anything from it. You always be learning different, like you always go there, you are studying, meanwhile you are getting nothing out of your study. So you have to know yourself and find an environment that best suits you. And if you find an environment that you always go to study, even if you go there one day and you are not with a book, it will always do you like you should study, because that place is always meant for studying. So when you go there, your mind will tell you that it's time for study. And the next thing that you have to do is to highlight and rewrite notes. Yeah, this is very important. I do most of the time. When a teacher is teaching, there are some things that he will mention that you just have to put them down. Then when you go to the dormitory, or when you are free, you just rewrite them, and then you expand on those points so that you'll be able to remember or recollect what the master said. Most of the teachers don't even put all the notes that what they talk about in class in their notes. If only they are giving you notes, they don't put everything in the notes. So all you have to do is to write the important things that the master talked about during his lesson, so that you can also go and look over it and revise it and write your own notes from what you learned from the teacher. Okay, this will even help you remember more during the lesson. You remember some of the gestures that the master was making when he mentioned those words and all that. So the next thing is to use memory games like mnemonics. You have to use words. Maybe you just use the starting of a point to form a word. Maybe if you have 4 points, what the starting of each of the points, then you use it to form a word that you can easily remember. I remember when I was in SS, there was this thing about who can be an ancestor, the characteristics of an ancestor, and I wrote this BODE, BODE. That was the characteristics of an ancestor, and one of it was that the B was for the person must have given birth, and the O was the person must have been old before the person died, and the D was for that the person has died. So you can't be an ancestor when you are still alive. And the third one, I can't remember though. The fourth one rather, the E at the last, but still I can remember the first, second, third. So it's still where it is. So you can also do it and get whatever you are learning, and you commit it to memory. And the next thing that you have to do is to take breaks. When you are learning, you just don't have to sit for hours on end just learning. You become so exhausted that even the things you learned earlier, you'll not be able to remember them. So what I'll advise is that when you learn for some 5 or 10 minutes, just go out and do something small, then come back. When you are even doing that, then you try to recollect what you were learning so that it will stay. When you are learning, the more you do recollection, the more it stays with you. So you have to do more recollection. Maybe if you are learning if you are doing 20% of learning, you have to do 40% of recollection so that you can remember everything you are learning. So take breaks during your lessons, your free time learning, so that you won't just be putting everything, all the load on yourself without taking any breaks. If you do that, you become exhausted. Too much exhaustion will fall on you. You can even get a headache from it. So you have to take breaks during your lesson. Okay, take breaks. Some of us want to finish the syllabus within 3 weeks. Don't do that. You will not remember anything. Just make sure you are taking breaks, and make sure whatever you are learning is taken with you. Okay. So my next thing is this one. It doesn't apply to me most of the time, but then it's really good because last semester I did it and I reaped some benefits from it. So it's good. Form study groups. Yes, it's very important to form study groups. But if you are the kind of person who doesn't like study groups, or you like independent work, well, you can go ahead and do whatever you want to do. But then study groups too are very important, because when you learn, I already told you that recollection is very good. So when you learn and you go to explain to someone, you get it more. And even when you are doing your explanation, maybe the person you are explaining to got it more, like understood it more than you even did, so the person will even explain more to you. And maybe the things that you didn't learn or didn't think about in that area, maybe the person learned it, or maybe there's someone within the group who knows something more that you don't know. So when you are in a group, you get an opportunity to learn different things in that subject. So it's very good to form study groups. Okay, I hope I didn't talk much. This brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, make sure to subscribe, share it with other people so they can also reap the benefits of this video. Make sure to comment what you want to see on my next video. Okay, see you on my next video.